Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Community. I am in Orlando and I am like gushing. I've just had like the best conversation with a new friend, Suneera. I'm just so excited to have you here on the show. So welcome.
Kristina, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to meet your incredible audience. I'm sure they're like, your personality is so fun. Therefore, I bet they're amazing too. So I'm so excited to be here.
Well, before we get into your story, I just want to say the thing that we jammed out on at the beginning was just how many mutual connections we have, which is like the whole beauty of having an amazing entrepreneurial community is like, that's what I've spent my last, 5 years growing is just my network. And I know for you have the most amazing story. I can't wait for you to tell everyone, but like that has been such a focus for you as well. And like, look how many connections were just made like just in that few minutes.
That's all we were talking about was how many friends we have in common, how incredible everyone is. And it's a really important point in business. I talk a lot about business, but what makes business is people, right? We forget that part of it. Relationships are so important and so key. And you really are the company you keep.
Yep.
And so as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you want to ensure that the circle around you is an incredible circle. And you have to ensure that, the 5 closest people around you, and that's in life and that's in business.
Yep.
Those are the habits that are showing up for you. So if you're around people that are successful, you're going to be successful. If you're around people, even in your friendships, if they're working out and if they're healthy, you're going to be healthy.
Yep.
And so you really are a byproduct of the company you keep. In my early days in building my first company, I know we're going to talk about the journey. I had a mentor. She took me to lunch, and and I'm scaling this business. I'm trying to raise venture capital, and she goes, the best piece of advice that somebody gave me, I'm going to pass it on to you. And the piece of advice was like, people collect things. They collect, I collect purses, but people collect coins and cars and whatever the things are, collect relationships. And every year, and relationships are not just a network. So in order for you to have a relationship, it's mutual. It has to be receiving and giving. And so she's like, every year, think about who you're going to add and what relationships you're adding, and then you continue to collect relationships. So it's not a one and done. It's not just a transaction. It's actually a culmination of relationships. And as you continue to grow, that is your network.
Yep.
And you can call them and you can rely on them. And what's so amazing is that in my journey from that young entrepreneur to exit, to raising venture capital, to building communities, to doing all the things, I have built like the amount of relationships that I've collected have always been there for me.
Yes.
And it's so important that you leave with a good reputation, a kind heart, and what people say about you, it matters.
Totally.
Right? It matters when you're not in the room. And so I do think that it's a really important thing that we should all be thinking about is building meaningful relationships. And I worry about I have 2 daughters and just how they are, they're not on social media yet, but we have to get out of the transactional world. We're in such speed.
Yep.
And I understand it. I'm like that sometimes too. I don't mean it. And I'll text a friend because I'm like, here's what's happening in business. Like I was doing it right now for the summit. I literally texted like 9 people so fast. And I'm like, we need this. And I'm like, no, like that's not like it's not about what we like that transaction either, or whatever the that moment is. We've got to take pause to ensure that we're pouring back into each other. And clearly I'm doing it with people that we have that relationship.
Yes, totally.
But it is important to slow down and spend time in those relationships and give to those relationships because it does come full circle.
Yes. Well, okay. So many good things there. And I'm wondering if you can tell people a little bit about you, how you got in business, where your business ended up, because I think that's so cool. But then also like how relationships have played a role in that. Because I think when people look at like you've had such incredible accomplishments, like we were just talking about this, I was like, you are everywhere. You are literally everywhere. And I know that's just going to increase as time goes on. But I'm just curious, like, how crucial relationships were to all of that. So
crucial. I think the first relationship in business for me was my brother. So I actually started my company with my sibling, which is so rare and so amazing. He's incredible. I mean, we grew up clearly, our whole lives together, and we share really similar value systems. So what better of like trust as a co-founder and all the things. And he has really different skill sets than I do. And when I was building Stacks, I actually founded the company in 2013. He came on board in 2014, but we came in both as like 50-50 partners as soon as he came on board. And even in that, like that journey of having a co-founder, having like that trusting relationship, like that's a huge relationship. And we had to work to really ensure that we could separate ourselves as siblings and also business partners.
Yeah, of course.
And working with family does get tricky and all those things, but we managed to just really put like just great communication. Like truly, we did so much. We had coaches and we had almost like business therapy, and I want to kill him every single day, but we make such a good team.
Yes.
And so that's a relationship that was like so instrumental for me. My family has always been a huge part of how I've shown up. Like they've shown up for me in like these relationships are my core relationships. And I think that that's kind of how I only know how to be with everyone. That then translated to my team at work. So when I was building the startup, this is 2013, like we were like physically in office. We are like young in our early 20s. We're building in like downtown Orlando. So we like go to the bars downstairs. Like, like my first employees were family.
Wow.
And I come from like my parents are immigrants. And so I'm first generation American. I grew up around a big dinner table, around a million cousins, and around like the doors always open. There's always enough.
Yeah.
Like everybody has a seat at the table in an immigrant household. And that is how we built like our tables. And everybody was always like welcome. And so I think that those were like the next set of relationships and relationships with the community. I was actually sharing photos with you because there's a trend online right now that says like 2016. This is the year 2016, like 10 years ago. And I'm like pulling up these photos and I didn't even realize, like I didn't know like this is networking.
Yeah.
Like I literally was just showing up for people at their ribbon cutting. I was showing up for different community events. I was going to tech accelerator and tech conferences because I ran a tech company and I wanted to learn. And so my network continued to grow in that way. And then mentors, right? Incredible mentors that have come into my life. Those relationships were so key. My first investor, right? Like the first person to say yes and to write me a check. And that was like those relationships were so meaningful. What's full circle is that I'm building a house right now, dream home on a big lake here in Orlando. We're so excited. And the lots are nearly impossible. We got to like know somebody, or somebody has to die, or like a basketball player has to get traded to like get one of these like lakefront here.
One of those three.
One of those like seven lots of land. I went to post my exit. Like I had coffee with one of my old board members. Like I continue to sit and have coffee with almost everyone. And I was having coffee with him and we're talking about me going on some of like their portfolio boards and things like that. And he told me where he lived. I'm like, that's my dream. Like, that's where I want to live.
That's my dream lake.
That's my dream lake. And he's like, okay. Well, I was like, well, if anything ever, like you hear anything pops up, like you need to tell me. Like literally 90 days later, he calls me and helped me get a deal done from his. So like my old investor is my neighbor.
Wow.
Yeah. And so what's crazy is people will be like, that's insane. But I returned 18 times their money. So we did really well, which we could talk about the business side of it. But how you like those, like every relationship matters. When you walked into like, I can give you like a million examples. There was an ex-employee of mine that worked for me that works at the studio. And I greeted her, like I know her face kind of like went down a little bit. I like was like, oh my God, it's so great to see you. How are you? Like how you even treat people on the way out matters.
Yeah. Now,
I will say it's not like I've been perfect my whole life.
Yeah.
Right. And the more success you have, I do feel like sometimes people do misunderstand you. And that's something else that like I'm learning to cope with, to say I don't need to people please everyone either.
Yes.
So I'm learning my tendencies are everyone's welcome. I want to be friends with everyone. I want everyone to be friends with me. And at the same time, I am learning that the right relationships matter.
Yes.
And I don't need to prove myself to everyone either. But I think it's a nice balance, but kindness always wins. So it's got to show up with like kindness, and how you treat people every day somehow does show up.
So many good things there. Like curious for you, Suneera, like you have had so much success in business, right? Like more than the average person. I don't even aspire for your level of success. Like to be honest, it's like your level of success is eating my level.
I'm thinking of my mom right now.
Yeah, good prayers to the above. But curious for you, like how have you maintained all these relationships over the years? And obviously too, like I've even felt it like in my limited success, like things change, right? Like we know as your business hits 6 figures, as it hits 7 figures, relationships change. People are triggered by different things, things that have nothing to do with you. Like, and and that sometimes is like actually for me, the hardest. I'm mega people pleaser, also first generation Canadian. Like I'm like, I just want to be loved. I just want to be like, I just want all of us to win here. So how have you managed that?
That's a really good question. I would say relationships, like things change and like businesses change and all of that. You talked a lot about change, but you don't change, right? So like your value systems don't change. So yes, I evolve, we grow, but like who I am inside in my heart is like exactly the same girl as I was before I had those accolades, before I exited my company, before I like did all those things. So I think it goes back to connecting with people that have the same value DNA. Where it has gone not well, because there's definitely relationships, like I've had ex-business partners in different things we've worked with, or just employees, or just even people within the community that like, we just don't have a great relationship, or I wasn't able to meet standards of whatever some sort. Like there's always going to be people you just can't please, or you'll be misunderstood, right? And I think that part is also hard for me because I'm not one to sever relationships. And so I think the growth comes in like your leadership to say, I don't need to be everything to everyone. Yeah. And so I think that is like the growth part of leadership and the growth part of journey. And I'm working on that myself as well, to be okay with not having to explain myself. That is so hard.
So hard.
Like I want people to know some of my sides of the story.
Yeah.
Right? Like don't you like everyone knows a side of a story or whatever the thing is, or
it's never ours.
But great leaders, you actually don't get to hear their side of the story. The ones that are sharing the sides of the story, the ones that are sharing the gossip, the ones that are sharing the spilling the tea. Yeah. They're in the defense seat. Yes. Okay. So actually the highest leader, the best way is putting your ego aside and just being okay with acceptance. And that's like a lot of inner work. And I'm still working on it, to accept that I cannot change and I will not change their opinion. Yeah. I don't need to change their opinion. Yes. Nor do I have to go out to say, no, that's not correct. That's not what happened. That used to be the old leader in me, right? Because you're like, I wanted to prove myself. I want to be like, no, that actually wasn't true. This is what happened here. This is what happened here. Or even proving myself, or like even when it kind of came, like whatever it was. Like there's so many personal relationships, from friendships to business relationships. I think this is just all applicable. I think I'm not there yet, but I hope to be, where I'm learning how I don't have to explain myself, and that I am just, it's enough. And the people that actually do know you, like they know. The people that care about you, they don't care. The people that are like, and that's what's important too, is like if you're in a gossipy circle, or if you're in like in a circle that is, the circles I'm talking about.
Totally.
Always
especially
talking
as women.
About, especially as women, and especially in female communities too. Like I feel like that's something that on the surface level, I think that we all want to collaborate and be there, but sometimes it still does feel competitive, and it doesn't have to be, but it does feel that way sometimes. But there is space for everyone. And so watch the circles that you're in, and as soon as you start to see if there's like that person who is always trying to talk, or the person that always has a problem, or the person that's always pointing out someone else's something, they're the problem.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And so you have to be aware of that.
I saw this reel, actually, Suneera, that I think you'll find funny, is that because I used to take those people under my wing. Like I would be like, that person, they've had so many bad like experiences with service providers. It's my time to be the right person. Like I'm going to be the person. And then I'm like, oh my God, like I see it. Like they are obviously the partner or the problem. But it's so funny. There is this reel that's like, there's going to be a girl that comes into your life and every single person has wronged her and she is the victim and whatever. It's like, don't befriend her. Like that's like and I think in business, like that's often what can happen, right? It's like this like idea, like we all work in relationship with each other. And I think there's also this element of like having the courage to be disliked.
Oh, it's a huge thing. There's actually a really incredible book that I actually read last year, The Courage to Be Disliked. It is an incredible book, and it's something that we all need to be comfortable with. Yeah. And success does come with that. I will tell you, there are parts of the internet, they don't like what I say. And I have to be okay with who I am and confident in how I'm showing up and being okay of just being me and having the courage to be disliked. That is and it's I think for, not that we're like here to talk about like inner child shit, but I like went to 10 different schools growing up. I moved around a lot. I told you, like, I come from an immigrant family. We didn't have much, but my father was an entrepreneur, so we're always on to the next thing, and he ended up being very successful. I learned so much from my father and my mom, but we moved. And so I like know where it comes from for me. Every time I went to a new school, I was alone. I had to find a new lunch table. I had to find a new clique. I had to find a new friend. Right. And so I've always leaned on like my personality to do that. So sometimes I was like, I'm funny and I can make friends easy. I can talk to a child or I can talk to an 80-year-old. I learned how to not like to fit in into to survive. Yeah. And then I would move to the next place. And I think that that's where it came from for me was that I've never felt that I actually like had a seat at the table. And so I was like always trying to fit in. And I look at myself now and I'm really proud of like the growth that I've had in the work that I've done for myself, like to cure that trauma.
Yeah, of course.
That I think that's where it comes from, because I do want my heart's in the right place. And it does hurt when someone just is talking shit and success is part of that. Like I can't help, like there's things that I'll say, like I could say anything on like a stage. If someone doesn't want to like it, they can turn it into what they want to hear.
100%.
And so I've had that happen like multiple times. I've had that happen like within my network and within my community. Yeah. And so it's not easy and it's okay. Yes. And like that's just part of it.
Yeah, and I think you wouldn't have the success that you have now if you were scared of all of that. Yeah. Like you can be scared of it and I think fearful, and I think everyone has an element of that. Like no one likes to be disliked at the end of it. But I do think, you know, I'm hearing from you, like I think lots of people who are listening to this, like they're founders, they're early stage, they're building relationships. Like what would you say to someone who might be coming up against that? Like they're maybe getting their first bout of success, or they're getting their first hate comment online. They're on their first stage and they get a little like picked at. Like what would you say to somebody in that situation?
Find your highest leader, like be her. And so I go by Sunny it's my nickname. It's my childhood name. Yes. And at work I go by Suneera, and I only changed it when I like became, I've always been on a journey to go from like to be a CEO. Yeah. So I know we could talk about business next because I'm sure your audience wants to hear about that. But I always tap into, in my head, I'm like, that's how Suneera would do it, not Sunny. And so tap into your highest leader, and silence is a powerful tool. Yes. I have a podcast. You and I probably love to talk. We love to fill space. Yeah. Silence is also powerful. Walking away is powerful. Like that is also a big part of our growth as leaders, is that I don't have to have something to say. I don't have to have a response. I don't need to explain. Yeah. And so when you are in a situation, just know that it's not about you. Yeah. And even that you know that, don't feed your own ego to say, yeah, I know it's not about me. It's about, then it is about, now you're feeding into that. Yeah. So you have to kind of like find a way to accept and not let it bother you, and you continue on. But I'm not perfectly there yet, but I did a lot of, I really do like Eckhart Tolle and the spiritual mindset lens. Yeah. And I think that he talks a lot about like killing the ego. And I think it's some really amazing leadership that we need to show up in. And so cry a little if you need to, because I do. Call your best friend, right? Like there are safe spaces that you can be like, that bitch. Yeah. Right? Like that's okay. Right? Like vent, cry. Don't do it in the like in where it, you know, where it's not, it's because you think that people are volts. They're not. No. That's another like huge thing that I have learned, is that be careful about what you say in public in terms of like business settings or things like that. You may be like making a joke or you don't mean harm by it. But the more success you have, like it can come back and bite you. Yeah. And people can turn it like things like, you just have to be careful. Once you start to become a leader, like think about it. It's a privilege to have that, and you have to protect that. That's a protected space. Yeah. And so you have to, it sucks. I'm not saying to filter yourself, but you have to be cognizant and aware of that. But you can have, you should have a trusted, like, girl squad.
Yes.
You know, that is a true, that you can call and feel safe with, and you let it go. And that Eckhart doesn't want you to do that. He just wants you to accept and be the highest leader and do that. But I need to, like, still cry. I'm a human.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was mean.
Yeah.
Like, that was so mean. And you say that was mean, and you want to do something, and you sleep on it. Like, we don't need to be reactionary. That's another part of, like, as women, we're so go, go, go. Imagine this year of, like, your growth where you're not reactive. Like, that pause, like, that moment, that day, like, sometimes when I'm, like, even, like, as a leader, man, do I want to, like, rip some people apart all the time. I'm like, and I probably do. Like, I'm a hard leader. Like, I run a tight ship. I hold accountability. I built $1 billion business. I built a second company. I have CEO school. Like, my team goes. And at the same time, like, if I have to write more than, like, 3 sentences, that means it's a phone call, not a Slack. That means it's a phone call, not an email. And it doesn't need to happen right now. And so if you just take the moment and you're like, do I feel that way in, like, 2 hours? Like, if you could just walk away, like, it really does change your tone. It changes how you come across. Huge growth in my leadership, learning through a lot of instances like that.
No, such good wisdom there. Guys, I like masterclass over here. I'm going to tell you too, right before Suneera sat down, we were chatting and she was like, yeah, the last in-person podcast I was on was Jay Shetty's podcast. I was like, perfect. Yeah, this is like going to be the same thing.
This is fun. I haven't been on a podcast in so long. I have my own podcast and I took a break.
Yeah.
I was building my second company. But yeah, I was on Jay's the last podcast that I was on was Jay's, and he's incredible, and you're incredible.
Oh, so sweet. I was gonna say one of my favorite parts of that podcast, because I listened this morning because in preparation, didn't meditate, but was you were talking about your upbringing, and you were talking about how, like, your dad would wake you up every morning and be like, you've got it, Sonny, like, and telling you, like, every single day. And I actually think that is, like, invaluable as a parent. Like, I heard that and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that to my kids. Like, I just had a baby. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, you know, every day I'm like, you're the cutest, smartest little boy. Like, I'm gonna be on this. But I think that probably subconsciously is such a big piece of your success.
Like, literally, I think that is the 100% reason for my success is because I have had, and I feel really lucky for it. I know that there are people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And I grew up around a family that loved hard. Almost too much, right? Like, there's, like, so much dependency, a lot of other issues. Like, my mom lives across the street still from me. Like,
stop.
I can't sleep alone. Like,
is she coming to the lake?
Is she? No, she lives, like, we're all, like, the lake's right down the road, so we're really close. But no, like, we're looking, like, we need to find a really close walkable nanny house. I work with my brother.
Yeah.
And so there are things, like, I do have, like, huge dependency on my family, and, like, there's trade-offs, but I literally, my mom cooks lunch for me, like, every day. Every time I work from home. Like, she literally cooked lunch for me today. And she's, like, the greatest grandma ever. My father passed away in 2020. I miss him so much. But I did get to spend, like, he died really young. He was 57 when he passed. And I really do feel I got to spend more time with him than I think many daughters, like, even if your father passes away at, like, a late age, that didn't get to spend that quality time. I had super parents that were, like, you know, working hard for our future. And I think that's probably where the level of responsibility came from, is my parents sacrificed so much for us.
Yeah.
And so I felt that I needed to succeed. Like, failure wasn't an option.
Yeah, I feel the same.
And so for me, I wanted to make them really proud. And they did equip me with really amazing confidence and tools. And yeah, my dad used to wake me up every morning. And he was like a morning guy. Music was on. And, like, he'd be like, Sonny, you have it. And it was his thing. Like he would be like, you know, he'd, like, talk, like, the it factor. And, like, and I'm like, what is it? And it's this feeling. It's this, like, you can do it. Like, everything was about this it. And I do have it. And we all have this it factor.
Yes, absolutely.
We just have to pull it out of us. And when I started my first company, which was a payment technology company, I was working for a fintech. I was in corporate for 3 years out of school. I went to University of Florida. I got a degree in finance and marketing. I was the first person in my family to graduate college. I did it with honors. I had every internship under the sun. I had offers from like EY and the aerospace and like so many cool like and Macy's because I always love fashion as a shoe buyer. And that's why I did marketing too. Like I always did finance.
Could have been a different life.
Completely could have been such a different life. I did the things and I guess entrepreneurship was like in my blood. But I pitched the idea to my old bosses. And I was rejected. And I came home. We always had dinner on Sundays. We always had family dinner. And my dad, he's like, how was your meeting? And they always knew everything that was happening. And I was like, Dad, it was so horrible. Like, yeah, like just like little girl, like passenger princess. I'm such a passenger. I'm so masculine. Like in my day to day, like I can be strong, but I'm like such a baby.
Yeah,
and I love
held.
it. I need to be held. And so I'm like, it was so awful. And like, they're never going to listen. He's like, well, you can't go back and work for them. And I'm like, well, then what am I going to do? And he's like, you should go start the company. Like, what else would you do?
Wow.
I'm like, Dad, where do I go find Mr. Visa? Like, how do you go start? I didn't know how to code. I had this like technology idea for us. I launched the first subscription-based payment processor with Stacks. It was such a novel idea. Like, it seems so simple. It wasn't in existence.
Yeah, wow.
That network, like that conversation, I quit my job. I moved back home. And I think it was a ploy for me to move back home.
Yeah.
Like, that was
he gotcha.
Yeah, I think that it was just a ploy for like his kids to come home. Oh. And I took that from the idea to, 8 years later, like almost a decade later, we exited north of 1.1 billion.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B. I raised like a shit ton of venture capital. So it took a lot of money to also get there. Like we did multiple hundreds of millions of venture capital. I had never raised capital before. I had never pitched. I never like gotten customers, like enterprise level customers, small business customers. We did 40,000 small businesses on our platform. 40 billion in payments ran through that platform that we created. Countless number of like employees and growth. And we were the first, it's called a unicorn when you build a company to $1 billion exit. We were the first Florida-based like unicorn, Florida first out of Orlando and first minorities out of Florida, first female out of Florida. There's only, I think, 27 women who have started and scaled and sold a company for that level. And we recognize many of them like Sarah Blakely and Allison Ellsworth of Poppy just did it. She's our newest unicorn, and that's so incredible. I built a tech behind the scenes platform. So I didn't build a consumer facing company, but Stacks was such a journey. And I ended up leaving in 2021 after Series D. And then we went into a little hiatus and started our second fintech, which Sal took charge of like this one to go build. Now we're building a small business underwriting platform, which is we're building the business credit score for small business.
Obsessed.
It's really amazing. And I get to do that as like my day job again. And now I'm sitting on as like I did it, like we got the company up. I'm chief evangelist. I'm sitting in a founder role. I'm not in an operating role now, but last couple of years I've been like building another startup.
Yeah.
And so I love building companies. And I forgot where like I was even going with this, but that idea, right? Like that superpower, we all have it. And I didn't go to CEO school. So I did graduate with like a great degree, but I didn't go to Harvard. I don't have this network. I didn't have First Bank of Dad or First Bank of Dad's friend or the network. And raising venture capital as a woman, less than 2%. Building companies at this level, less than 1%. Like it shouldn't be, and that shouldn't be the case. But you got to believe it. And it's just one problem that you solve at a time. So now here we are.
Now, I'm obsessed with your story, obviously, because I think I'm such a big believer that when you join a community, you're in a community. And I'm just going to ask you in a second about all the amazing community building work you're doing. But like, you have to be able to, like, you can't be it without seeing it, So like you are the exception of like not seeing it and doing it. But I think for so many of us, like the rooms we're in show us what's possible. Like being like even Jacqueline Johnson's a mutual friend of ours. And I didn't even know you could sell an agency.
Incredible.
And she was like, yeah, sold my agency. Then, started creating Cultivate, started doing this. It's like, I needed to see that to be able to be like, okay, this is how I would scale my agency if I wanted to make a sale. Like all of that, right? And so I think we need to be able to create that. And so I'm curious for you, obviously you're building your second business right now. You don't probably need I imagine you don't need to work. I'm just going to put it out there. You're probably like, you could chill a bit with your like. But I'm curious, like.
And mom life.
And mom life. Yeah.
I love mom life.
With your girls. You were telling me all about your cute birthday parties, like the sweetest.
My girls are just absolutely the best. Shout out to Mila and Anna. Anna just turned 7. And so she was 6. Now she's 7. We're throwing a 6-7 birthday.
Oh my God.
I'm like super obsessed with I love mom life. And I wouldn't trade. I love building businesses too.
Yes.
And I don't want to choose, so I don't.
Yeah, no. I mean, and we were just talking about that, about some of the things you have in place to make that happen, which is incredible. So I'm curious for you, like, obviously building community network is a huge, like, piece of what has made you so successful, but then also what you try to help others with.
Yeah.
And so I'd love for you to tell everyone, like, kind of what you're up to right now and why you think that's top of mind or needed for entrepreneurs.
Exactly what you said. I mean, we were talking about, we started the podcast with relationships.
Yeah.
We literally, one of our taglines for CEO School and for Millionaire Founders Club, which is one of our communities, your network is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
That is 100% true. And so you want to surround yourself by people who are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
Like that is just it. So you can see it. And then how much easier would have been, like my life would have been if I had a friend that I could have called when I got my first lawsuit, right? When I had to fire my first employee. When something didn't go as planned, all we share, it's nice to be able to have people to be like, oh yeah, wins and wins and wins. That's not the life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's 100 times failing to get that one high win, and then we go chase it again.
Yeah.
Right? And so we just need that one hit.
Yeah.
And then we're like back at failing and like eating dirt every day.
Yes.
Right? And so it's addicting. I love being an entrepreneur. I'm such a founder. And so I do think that you need people around you to, one, uplift you when you are failing.
Yeah.
Because we're so hard on ourselves as women. And like we need a right circle clapping for us too. And we also need the right circle checking ourselves. So over the last bit, we've done a really great job now of having amazing female communities. And I think that is like so incredible that we have all these networks. Find your tribe. Yeah. Whatever your vibe, like find that, whatever works for you, the people that you resonate with, join the communities, join multiple things, be around successful people. And you also want to be around people like the communities that are also checking you. So you don't want just the rah and like, you've got this, girl, I've got you, like amazing. That's cool. And I want somebody to challenge me to be like, no, that's not going to work. I did it like this in 2020 when I launched on my last webinar, and that was that idea is not going to work. Yeah. Or this is how we need to do it, or like, challenge my thinking. Yeah. So I become better. Like what is the American saying? It's iron sharpens iron. Yeah. Right. Iron sharpens iron.
American saying.
No, I grew up I also lived in Karachi for 3 years.
Okay.
I missed. It's like a random side tangent, weird fact about me. So I lived in Karachi from the age of like 9 through 12. I came back with like it's a crucial 4 years of your like life. So there are like movies I haven't seen, like pop culture stuff that I don't know from.
You haven't caught up by this point.
No, and then I'll say I know, like, and I'm really bad at. I like to say some of these like really amazing, profound sayings because I speak a lot and I'm on stages. And then like someone will be like, well, actually, it's like water under the bridge, not water under the horse. It's horse before the cart, or the cart before horse before the cart. Don't put the cart. Yeah, exactly. My point. I just proved it. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you also want to be around that excitement part is there, but who are you around that you're actually learning from? That's sharpening your tool belt. That's also important. And so I think that what a great time. What a great time to build a business.
Yeah.
You are so lucky.
Yeah. No, I believe that.
AI is incredible. We're doing things 10 times faster. Talent is global now.
Yeah.
Like that is amazing. We had to like we were pre-COVID. So I had to like hire one employee at a time out of Orlando. Like not only just building talent, but like physically going into the office. Like remote work wasn't even, it was existent, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And like COVID changed so much in business. AI is changing so much in business. So I feel like we're like, it's an exciting time in business to be alive.
Absolutely.
And so like you got to get at it. Go crush your competition.
Yes.
Like win. And then do it with like winning is fun with friends.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's fun to have.
And for me, I know a big part of my, like, Suneera, I could literally talk to you all day. I feel like this could have been a half day, but I was going to say, I know for me, a big part of...
We could do a part 2. We can come back.
Yeah, I'll come back to Orlando. We'll do a part 2. Or you can come to Toronto.
I can come to Toronto.
Yeah, I'll put that up there. I was going to say, I think a big part of the way we've grown our business so fast and how we scale 7 figures so fast was we would go to events, we would join masterminds, we'd be in the right room with amazing women, right?
Yeah.
And I know you cultivate amazing rooms. Before we sat down, I was like, and then I know this person's your mastermind, and this person's your mastermind, and this person's been coached by you. And so I'd love for you to tell folks like a little bit about, maybe ways that they could be in your world and connect with you, because Suneera is an amazing person to learn from. But also you are such a great example of like the idea of your network being your net worth, and like these, all these people you're connected with, you're learning from all of these people. You're always growing, which I think is the best way to be an entrepreneur. So I would love for you to tell everyone what you've got going on.
All the things. Okay, so first, you can come to the Unicorn Summit.
Woo!
So we have our first ever conference. I have had a podcast, and you learn from CEO School. So I've got a great podcast, and Kristina's going to be on. And so come listen to her episode, and come listen to, we've been doing this for 5 years now as well. So there are, we have an incredible community. I just haven't brought them together, everyone together. So this is the first time I'm hosting a summit in Orlando. It's February 19th and 20th. So it's coming up.
Yep.
We'll link some like super special like codes for all of you. We can actually do, let's just do it. We're going to do a code called Bestie.
Love it.
Okay. And it'll literally mark like the ticket down to like 50%. So it'll be like just for you guys, just for this community, grab your ticket, come to the conference. So that's February 19th and 20th. We've got such an incredible lineup of speakers. But what makes our conversations different, I am a big believer in sharing playbooks. And so we have a really amazing CEO School is a school. So we've got an incredible like scaling system. So if you feel stuck in where you are, so whether you're in early stage and you're crossing to that $1 million mark, 6 figures going, or even going to six figures, like, and then even beyond the 7 to the 8 figures, there's 3 pieces and 3 pillars of scale that are fundamental to every business. It's people, it's process, and it's profit. And so there are levers of scale. I didn't build a company. It wasn't $1 billion just from valuation. We took it from 0 to 2 million, 2 to 7 million, 7 to 14 million, 14 to 22 million that next year, 22 to 60 million, then 100 million, then 160 million.
Wow.
Right? So like there's a textbook playbook on scale. That is not being taught anywhere.
Right.
Right. And so that is what I'm hoping to bring to entrepreneurs. I'm an educator at heart. And so I've built all of my playbooks, and I just want to give them to every entrepreneur. I feel like I didn't know I could go build $1 million business, let alone $1 billion one.
Yes.
And I know every business, whether you want to build $1 billion company or not, you should build for whatever your goals are.
Yeah.
And we should be building businesses with enterprise value. Whether we want to sell, we don't want to sell. Whether we want to keep it as a lifestyle company, but we have to think about the business as an asset. And so those are a lot of my playbooks. And I think that that's what really sets apart our room. Our women are truly the best at heart. Like that's what I feel about everyone that is in our circle. Value does attract the same value and the same DNA. And so we're fun, and heart, like big, like our community is really diverse. And so you'll find a friend. It doesn't matter whether diversity comes in all walks too. Like whether it's the type of business that you run, whether it's, what the region that you're from, the color of your skin, the type of like whether, product-based, service-based, agency, like you will find your age, where we have women that are in their 20s. We have women in their early 60s starting companies. You will find a space in CEO School. And that's what I'm like most proud of is that it really is such a room. So Unicorn Summit, grab your ticket right now. So do it, come grab it. And then I'll personally come find you guys from the community brand. So I cannot wait to see you in the room. And so that's what's happening right now. And then if you want to, go to CEO School, we have an incredible certification to go from founder to CEO. It's a 16-week program. It's just the business MBA of 2026.
Yes.
And so come do that. And I think it's just such an incredible business course and program. And you'll learn from me, and you'll learn from just incredible mentors, that the relationships that I've been able to really cultivate. So lots of different ways to come connect with us.
Guys, if you want an MBA from someone, it's Suneera for sure. Suneera, thank you so much, firstly, for being on the podcast and extending not only like such a generous code, and I will be sharing that everywhere, but also all of your wisdom, because you are showing so many women what's possible. I know this is just the beginning of us connecting, but I also know just the beginning of all your great impact. I think the best is still yet to come.
I'm really excited. Thank you so much for having me, and send me a DM. I'm on Insta. I'm on all the other channels, but my phone I'm still like an old elder millennial on Insta. So shoot me a DM or on LinkedIn and come say hello. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway as well. And I'll see you at the summit.